The most powerful thing you can do for your baby's brain today costs nothing. It takes no extra time. It needs no special equipment. It does not require a single educational toy, a flashcard, a Mozart playlist, or an app designed by child development experts. It just requires knowing what it is. And Japanese parents have been doing it every single day, in the most ordinary moments of caring for a baby, for generations. While most of the Western world has been spending money on the wrong things. In Japanese parenting culture, there is a quality of presence during interaction with a baby that does not have a direct English translation. It is called mazakari. It means something close to wholehearted engagement. Full attention. The complete absence of distraction during the moments you spend with your child. But it is more specific than just putting your phone down. Mazakari is the practice of bringing genuine curiosity to every interaction with your baby, of being truly interested, not performing interest, but actually feeling it, in whatever your baby is doing, expressing, or reaching toward in this specific moment. Not thinking about the next task while you feed them, not scrolling while they play beside you, not being physically present while mentally somewhere else entirely. Actually here, actually watching, actually wondering what is going on inside this small person right now. That quality of attention, practiced daily, in ordinary moments, over hundreds of interactions, is the most powerful brain-building tool developmental science has ever identified. And most Western parents have never heard it described this clearly. What it looks like in real life, mazakari does not look dramatic from the outside. It looks like a mother feeding her baby who puts down everything else and watches her baby's face while they eat, who notices when the baby's eyes move toward something and says, "You can see something over there, can't you?" It looks like a parent changing a nappy who talks directly to the baby about what they are doing and then pauses and waits for the baby to respond with a sound or a movement before continuing. It looks like a walk outside where the parent follows the baby's gaze to the leaf on the ground, to the shadow on the wall, to the dog across the street, and names what the baby is looking at, not pointing out what the parent finds interesting, following what the baby finds interesting. It is ordinary. It is quiet. It happens in moments that most people would describe as nothing special. And inside the baby's brain, during every single one of those moments, something very special is happening. Cultural contrast 1. How Japanese mothers respond to baby sounds A. Baby makes a sound. In Japanese parenting culture, that sound is treated as the beginning of a conversation. The mother stops what she is doing. She looks at the baby. She responds to the specific sound, not with a generic yes, good baby, but with a response that connects directly to what the baby just expressed. If the baby sounds excited, she reflects excitement back. If the baby sounds uncertain, she responds with calm reassurance. If the baby babbles, she babbles back, and then waits. Genuinely waits. For whatever comes next. The exchange is real. Both people are in it. In much of Western parenting culture, the same baby sound gets a different response. A glance up from a phone, a distracted mm-mm, a smile in the general direction of the baby without real eye contact, or nothing at all because the sound was too quiet to register over the background noise of the day. Both parents love their babies equally. That is not the difference. The difference is that one parent treated the baby's sound as a message worth responding to specifically, and one did not. And that difference, repeated across thousands of interactions over the first 3 years of life, produces measurably different brains. Cultural contrast 2, present versus parallel attention. There are 2 kinds of attention a parent can give a baby: present attention and parallel attention. Present attention is when your full awareness is actually on your baby. You are watching them, thinking about them, curious about what they are experiencing, responding to what they specifically do. Parallel attention is when you are in the same room as your baby, physically there, occasionally glancing over, technically available, but your mind is somewhere else, on a task, on a worry, on a screen. Most Western parents give their babies parallel attention most of the time, not because they love their babies less, because modern life demands parallel attention constantly, because being fully present with a baby while also managing a home and a career and a relationship and everything else that needs managing feels like a luxury most days. Japanese parenting culture, particularly in the early months, protects present attention as a priority. Not all day, but consistently, in dedicated windows of interaction where the baby has all of you, and both of you know it. The baby knows the difference. Their nervous system reads the quality of attention they are receiving in real time. And the brain that develops inside present attention looks different, measurably, structurally different, from the brain that develops inside parallel attention. Cultural contrast 3, slowing down versus speeding up. Japanese parents interact with their babies slowly, deliberately slowly. Slow speech, long pauses, extended waiting after a question or a sound, real waiting, not a half second of patience before moving on, for the baby to respond in whatever way a baby can respond. Western parenting culture tends to move fast. Fast speech, short pauses, quick transitions from one thing to the next. Efficiency built into every interaction because there is always more to do. But a baby's brain does not process at adult speed. When a parent speaks slowly and waits genuinely, the baby's brain has time to process what just arrived, form a response, and deliver it. The serve and return exchange completes fully. The neural connection forms. When a parent speaks fast and fills the silence before the baby can respond, the exchange never completes. The baby was in the middle of forming a response that never got to land anywhere. Slow is not lazy. Slow is precise. And in baby interaction, precision is everything. Here is what Mazakari practiced daily, in ordinary moments, across the first 3 years of life, builds inside a baby's brain. Language ability. A baby whose sounds are consistently responded to specifically develops language faster, with a larger vocabulary, and with stronger comprehension than a baby whose sounds are met with generic or absent responses. Emotional intelligence. A baby who is seen clearly, whose specific emotional expressions are met with specific responses, develops a richer and more accurate internal map of their own emotional experience. Attention. A baby whose attention is followed and honored rather than redirected develops stronger sustained attention and greater capacity for deep focus. Problem solving. A baby who is allowed to struggle slightly toward something, with a patient, present, curious parent watching, develops more robust problem-solving confidence than a baby who is immediately helped or immediately distracted. All of these things together, built daily in ordinary moments, are what intelligence actually is, not what a test measures, what a person can do. Here is the other side of the same coin. Babies who grow up in low Mazakari environments, where interactions are frequently distracted, where sounds go largely unresponded to, where attention is mostly parallel rather than present, do not develop the same neural density in the regions responsible for language, attention, and emotional regulation. Not because they were born with less capacity, because the capacity was never activated. The brain builds what it uses. And a baby whose communications consistently land somewhere, whose sounds and gazes and reaches are met with specific, genuine, present responses, uses those neural pathways thousands of times a day. A baby whose communications mostly land nowhere uses them far less. The gap that opens over 3 years of that difference is not small. And it shows up in every classroom, every relationship, and every challenge that child will ever face. Here is where people push back strongly. Is IQ genetic? Is intelligence something you are born with that parenting cannot meaningfully change? One side says yes, that the research on genetic heritability of intelligence is clear, and that the influence of parenting on cognitive outcomes has been significantly overstated by a parenting culture that wants to believe everything is in the parent's hands. The other side says that genetic potential is not the same as genetic destiny, that genes set a range. a wide range, and that environmental inputs, including parenting quality, determine where within that range a child ends up. The most current research supports something more nuanced than either position. Gene expression itself, which genes get turned on and which stay quiet, is influenced by early experience. The quality of caregiving a baby receives does not just fill in around a fixed genetic blueprint, it shapes which parts of the blueprint get built at all. Developmental researchers have a specific term for the quality of interaction that Mazzacari describes. It is called contingent responsiveness. Contingent means connected to. Specifically connected to what just happened. Contingent responsiveness means responding to your baby in a way that is clearly and specifically connected to what your baby just did. Not a generic response. A response that could only be the response to that specific sound, that specific expression, that specific reach, in this specific moment. That specificity is everything. When a baby does something and receives a response that is clearly about what they just did, the brain registers something profound. My action caused that response. I did something, and the world changed because of it. That registration, that experience of having an effect, is the neurological foundation of learning, of motivation, of the belief that effort produces outcomes. Contingent responsiveness does not just build language and attention and emotional intelligence. It builds the fundamental belief that the world responds to you. And a child who carries that belief into every learning situation they will ever face has an advantage that no educational program can replicate. Here is what Japanese parenting culture understood long before neuroscience had the language to explain it. You do not build a baby's intelligence by teaching them things. You build it by responding to them in a way that makes their brain believe that what it does matters. Every time a Japanese mother stops what she is doing and responds specifically to her baby's sound, she is not being warm. She is being precise. She is delivering the exact neurological input that causes a new connection to form in a developing brain. She is not teaching her baby. She is building them. But if contingent responsiveness is the tool, if the quality of your response to your baby's specific signals is what builds the brain, then the question that follows changes everything about how you approach the next feeding, the next nappy change, the next ordinary moment of your day. What does a truly contingent response actually look like? And what is the simplest way to start delivering more of them, today, in the moments you already have? That is exactly what comes next. Here is what contingent responsiveness actually does inside the developing brain. Every time a baby produces a signal, a sound, a look, a reach, a facial expression, and receives a response that is specifically connected to that signal, a neural pathway activates. And a neural pathway that activates repeatedly gets stronger, gets faster, gets more densely connected to other pathways. This is called synaptic strengthening. And it is the physical mechanism by which intelligence is built. Research from Harvard's Center on the Developing Child found that babies who experience high volumes of contingent responsiveness in the first 3 years develop measurably greater synaptic density in the regions of the brain responsible for language, attention, emotional regulation, and executive function. Not because they had more stimulation, because they had more specific, connected, genuinely responsive interaction. There is also a hormonal mechanism. Contingent responsiveness triggers oxytocin release in both parent and baby simultaneously. Oxytocin reduces cortisol. Lower cortisol means a nervous system that is not in stress mode. And a nervous system not in stress mode is a nervous system with full access to the learning, curiosity, and connection systems that build the brain. The baby who is responded to specifically is not just more stimulated. They are more open, more available to the very experiences that build them. If this is the first time you have understood what is actually happening inside your baby when you truly show up for them, this channel is exactly where you need to be. Real science, plain language, every single week. Hit subscribe right now. 4 specific ways to bring Mazzacari and contingent responsiveness into your day starting today. First, Respond to every sound your baby makes for 5 minutes a day. Not all day. 5 focused minutes. Put everything down. When your baby makes any sound, respond to it specifically. Mirror it back. Comment on it. Answer it as though it was the beginning of a sentence you want to hear the rest of. Do this once a day consistently, and the neural pathway for communication begins strengthening immediately. Second, follow their gaze instead of directing it. When your baby looks at something, look at it with them. Name it. Stay with it as long as they are interested. Do not redirect their attention to something you find more appropriate or more educational. Their curiosity is the curriculum. Follow it. Every time you honor what they find interesting, you are telling their brain that curiosity is worth having. Third, slow your speech by half and double your pause. Speak more slowly than feels natural. And after you say something, wait, count to 5 in your head. Give the baby's brain the processing time it needs. The response that comes after a genuine pause is more neurologically significant than 10 responses that arrive before the baby had a chance to form one. Fourth, narrate 1 ordinary care moment per day with full presence. 1 nappy change, 1 feed, 1 bath, where you are completely there, describing what you are doing, responding to every signal the baby sends, treating the 10 minutes of that ordinary task as the most important 10 minutes of your day, because for your baby's developing brain, it is. You are not your baby's entertainer. You are not their activity director or their educational content provider. You are the most powerful cognitive development tool your baby will ever have access to. More powerful than any toy, more powerful than any app, more powerful than any curriculum designed by any expert who has never met your specific baby. Because you are the one who can respond to your specific baby, to their specific sounds, their specific expressions, their specific curiosity in this specific moment, in a way that is precisely connected to who they actually are. That specificity is what builds intelligence, and only you can deliver it. Every moment you truly show up for your baby, every time you put down what you are doing and look at them and respond to them as though what they just did genuinely mattered, something is being built. A connection in a brain that will use that connection for the rest of its life. A belief in a developing mind that what it does causes things to happen in the world. A foundation of curiosity and confidence and cognitive capacity that no program, no product, and no amount of money can produce. Just you, present, curious. Responding specifically to this baby, this exact person, in this ordinary moment. Japanese parents have understood this for generations, not as a technique, not as a strategy, but as the most natural expression of what it means to truly pay attention to someone you love. Your baby does not need more stimulation. They need more of you, the real you, the present one, the one who stops and looks and waits and responds and sees them, specifically, completely in this moment, as the most important thing happening right now. Because for their developing brain, you are. If this gave you something real today, a new way of seeing what your presence actually builds inside your baby, share it with a parent who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because your baby's brain is being built right now. And you deserve to understand every piece of what you are building,